effective test automation and enhancing scripts. Okay, so we are done with the first step, that is the recording. So we saw that during recording you use a recorder, and there are a couple of tools which are available with the testers, that is to add verification points and to add the data verification point, data driven testing, and at the same time you can use regular expressions for validating the dynamic data. Now coming to the enhancement phase. So as I said, this is not a mandatory stage, but most commonly it is used to strengthen or to ensure that shelf life of a given script is increased, right? So what do we need to do in order to do enhancement of the script? So you need a strong, powerful scripting language, right, that can support the kind of logic which you want to add. For example, you might want to add conditional branching, that if the input given by the customer is this, then go to temporary employee logic or temporary employee scenario, otherwise run the permanent employee scenario, something like that. So these kind of, so what it requires that the language which you are creating the test should offer you these conditional branching and writing these if else conditions kind of thing. So which is very much available in RFT because it offers scripting in VB.NET and Java language, which are very strong languages. At the same time, when you are building your tests, right, oftentimes you see that the test is broken and you need to debug that, right? The log will give you enough only information that why it broke, but there could be cases wherein you have written a framework and maybe due to time-related changes, or you interpret the situation wrongly, or you did not handle a particular situation. So you need to debug that thing. So which is very much available with the help of Eclipse debugging support, which you get along with RFT, as well as the Microsoft Visual Studio.NET debugging things you can be used here. And typical modifications definitely you can do, as I mentioned, you can do conditional branching, etc. At the same time, another important piece which you get here is that you can use SCM tools like Rational Team Concert or ClearCase for versioning your tests, right? You want to ensure that there is a controlled check-in happen and monitoring of each change happens, that why a particular change was done in my test. So that can also be done because RFT automatically integrates with the RTC and with the Eclipse and VS.NET, right? And you can also do dynamic data validation. So we only talked about verifying data through wizards, right? That has its own support. But if you want to build your own custom validation types, which are not exposed via the wizards, then there are APIs available for a more advanced users, tech-savvy users, if they want to add that logic with the help of scripting. So that thing is also possible. I'm moving on to the next slide. Okay, so enhancement was all about strengthening the script logic so that it can run for a longer duration and to make it less maintenance free, right? Now the next step is executing. Now we have put all my effort to automate the manual test. Now the next step is I want to play back the test on every build which I received from the development, right? And so what exactly we do as part of this is that you have the tests which are automated and you can choose to run it via command line. You may choose to run it with the help of a test management tool. You probably must be having a test management tool like Rational Quality Manager. So you may want to run it, the RFT tests which you have created on remote machines, on multiple machines, right, through with the help of Rational Quality Manager. Or you can do it manually also, right, by just through the Rational Functional Tester ID itself, if you want to do it on a local machine. So scripts are executed. It expects that the behavior is same as it was in during the time of recording. If there are any differences found at the time of playback, then those differences are captured in the test log, and which are created, or which are rather shown right after the execution of the test is done. There are a couple of important things which I would want to highlight here, which is a little different and very specific to RFT, is that it has its own patentable technology named Script Assure, which actually allows you to run the tests even if there are minor changes between the versions. So the scripts are, which eases the job of script maintenance, right? And the other thing is the reporting. So you have a lot of choices in reporting here. You can create, you have by default, there are multiple types of report like HTML, XML. You can export it in a PDF format. But at the same time, what RFT offers is that you can customize your extensions. You can write your own custom log, right? And RFT will consume your custom implementation and will generate the reports as per your requirement. So I'm moving on to the next slide, which talks about reduced test script maintenance, reliable playback with Script Assure. So as I said, Script Assure is the technology, it is a patentable technology, and that makes the test scripts immune to object name changes between the different versions. So as you can see on the screen, there is version 1 and version 2. So these are actually the UI of the application in different builds, right? So I would want to, can you click on these things so that you bring up all the things, because I think you need to click twice, and it will show the match verification point success.
Yes. So okay. Tester sees and tool sees. Those are the two.
Yes. Okay. You will click one more time, then it will say match verification point passes.
Correct.
Okay, great. So what a scripting tool sees is the underlying attributes which allow the tool to uniquely identify the objects being tested here, right? The problem is when the attributes are changed build to build, as this application also, you can see initially, if you see on the first version, the button name was login, and layout was something in the account ID and password. Fields were coming in the same line. But in the version 2, the layout is changed. The button also has changed, right? So the test scripts basically can no longer uniquely identify the object to be tested, because earlier you were expecting the button to be login, but now button name has to be log on. And as I said, most automation tools actually depend on these properties to identify these objects, right? But still script means RFT is able to pass this test, and the reason for that is because it uses a weighing mechanism. So every property is given a weightage depending on how critical or how useful that property is to identify the GUI object inside the AUT, right? So what are the benefits that we get out of it? That this basically decreases the script failures by making the script resilient to change. So even if there are some changes, it still can continue. You need not have to go back and modify your tests again and again, because that's how weights have been designed. And weightage calculation happens internally, and you can see this information in the object map editor also, that how the weightages have been defined. If the weight is 100 and the value is matched completely, then it will pass. If the minimum the weight, that means the property is not that critical for identifying the object. And text field, for example, are generally the lower weightage values because text can change, right? So this is how script assure technology helps you to even pass or click on the button in the version 2, log on button in the version 2. Whereas if script assure would not have been there, like if you would have created your own descriptive mechanisms to find the object, then the same thing would have been failed. Okay. Now, moving on to the next slide, which talks about reporting that fits your organization needs. So this is again part of the executing script. So though it is the reports, but again, reports and execution are like very much related because reports are nothing but the outcome of the execution. So results can be viewed in multiple formats, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, that it can be viewed in an XML format, HTML format. These are like there's a web 2.0 log is also available. When you run the test from the test management tools like our Rational Quality Manager, so tests are automatically uploaded to the Rational Quality Manager and is associated with the test case, right? So you can see your test case, results, defects, requirements all in the same, all at the same place inside the Rational Quality Manager, which helps in easy tracking of your development as well as the quality of the test, right? And you can export your tests in the PDF 7 and 8 documents, that also. And at the same time, I also mentioned that you can have your own custom logs. So there is a custom log extensions available in the RFT, which will allow you to create your own format. For example, you might want to create a report, and this request I have seen many times actually coming from a lot of RFT customers, that is it possible to create some kind of summary report for all the suites that I run? Yes, it is very much possible with the help of the log extensions. So with this, now next item I had was to give the demo. And so looks like that thing is not working for me. Still down. Okay, so there are certain important links. So I am on slide number 15, which I'm skipping the demo slide for time being, since there are some network difficulties at my end, which is not allowing me to, letting me to share my screen. My apologies for that. So I'm directly going to important links, and one of the links also talks about, so in fact the first link itself, which has the rational functional tester videos. There are a bunch of videos which shows the rational functional tester capabilities. Some of them which I plan to demo today, you can find the same video, similar videos available in the rational functional tester videos link. Testing with rational functional tester, it is basically this page actually is a help link of rational functional tester, which tells you what all things, like how do you prepare your test environment, then how do you create an automated test. It's a step-by-step, basically it tells you. Then there is an introduction to rational functional tester. It's a nice small movie which gives you a tour of rational functional tester and all of its capabilities that we discussed today, like verification points, data-driven testing. System requirements, rational functional tester actually talks about what are the system needed for installation of RFT on your machine. Then what are the domains, platforms supported by RFT, like we talked about. We mentioned some of them in our previous slide, that it supports testing of Java technologies, .NET technologies, but there are lot many which are not mentioned, like Flex was not mentioned, Dojo was not mentioned, etc. So those details can be seen in the system requirements for rational functional tester. Next is record manual test script. Actually, I had a plan to talk about manual test script recorder. This is actually a new capability which was added in RFT 8.2.2 and RQM 4.0. RQM is our test management solution, which helps you to do all test management activities like creation of test cases, test plans, execution of tests, creation of suits, etc. So this manual test script recorder is rational quality manager's capability, and wherein it allows you to automate even the manual test case creation itself. Like today, if you are using any test management tool, or if you are familiar with rational quality manager, when you create a test case, it's all manual, right? You need to write your own stuff, like log into gmail.com and then check emails, delete emails, blah, 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 right? So these are all you need to do manually. But what if you get an option to even automatically create these manual tests? So that's what this manual test script recorder functionality provides us. So it's basically an RQM feature, but internally it uses the rational functional tester recorder engine to generate the manual test commands. The last link is about the functional and GUI testing forum. So this is the forum which you can refer if you have any doubts around the usage of the product, or if you have any difficulty. There are a lot of, this is a very active forum which, and you probably will meet a lot of experts here. Even RFT team also looks into this forum and keeps answering your queries. So, so Sri Lagna, looks like internet is not recovered at my end. And, is there any way I can post a video, which means I can create a video of the demo which I wanted to show today, and is there any possibility for me to upload that video on the Techgig?
You can share the video with us, Nitin, and we will try if we can include the video along with your presentation. Any which ways, we will upload today's session by tomorrow afternoon on techgig.com, so that all the attendees can, because I can understand that there was a lot of confusion at the beginning today, and due apologies for that. So we will be putting up today's session, the entire recorded session, by tomorrow. So if you could share your video by then, we will try and see if we can include that as well. But as of now, let us open. We are already running out of time since we started the session late. Let's open up the session for a quick Q&A. Let me see if I have any questions. So since you cannot view my screen, I'm going to say out loud the question, and then you can help the attendees with the answer. So let me see if I have received any question so far. And this is a request to all the attendees to quickly start sharing your questions for this session. Okay, a lot of questions are pouring in. I'm going to start reading out some of the questions. I'll try my best not to confuse anyone here. Okay. Okay, we received a question from Vishnu Panda, who has left the session, but probably the answer might be valuable for the other attendees. So his question was, for large amount of data, is data pool